Today's parable is all about judging others, self-awareness and hypocrisy. That's just a fancy word for saying one thing and doing another. The parable is called the Speck and the Plank. Now, I'm sure that you've all seen a pirate movie or two, and I'm sure you'll be familiar with the idea of walking the plank. But what is a plank? In essence, it's just a large piece of wood, a bit like a floorboard. Can you imagine having a plank that size in your eye? That might seem a little odd, but Jesus once told a story about that very thing. I don't know about you, but I notice when people mess up, or if someone is rude, or if they don't put effort into something. And let's be honest, we probably all notice these things in the world, and probably more so with the people around us. Humans have this inbuilt need to be right, and as a result, we often look at what other people are doing and judge it as wrong, especially if it doesn't match up with what we think is right. Jesus was teaching his disciples and a large crowd of people when he told this story. It can be found in Matthew chapter 7 verses 1 to 5, and it says, "Don't judge others or you'll be judged. You'll be judged in the same way that you judge others, and the amount you give to others will be given to you. Why do you notice a little piece of dust in your friend's eye, but you don't notice the big piece of wood in your own eye? How can you say to your friend, 'Let me take that little piece of dust out of your eye'? Look at yourself. You still have that big piece of wood in your own eye. You hypocrite. First, take the wood out of your own eye. Then you'll see clearly to take the dust out of your friend's eye." Have you ever heard the phrase, "Every time you point the finger at someone, remember there are 3 fingers pointing back at you"? It's so easy to find fault and point the finger at other people, all the while ignoring the faults in ourselves. The kinds of judgment Jesus is talking about here is the harsh and extreme judgment which is based on our own opinions and our own ideals. Jesus is telling us here that we shouldn't judge people out of pride or arrogance. We're not to judge people in a way where we think that we're superior to them. And we're not to judge people in a way where we are taking the place of God. These words that Jesus spoke 2,000 years ago are just as relevant to our lives today as they were to the crowds that he was speaking to when he walked on the earth. Let's think of a hypothetical example here. It's made up, but it could easily have been something that happened with my colleague Jill and I. I hate to be late, especially for work. Imagine that I have a 9 a.m. meeting. I'll make the point of getting up early and out the door in good time to avoid the traffic and be at the venue ready to start the meeting at 9 a.m. And suppose Jill shows up late for the same meeting. What might the thoughts in my mind be? Now, we're being honest and real here, right? So my true thoughts might be something like, "Oh, she's so unorganised. Why can't she just get here on time? She's making us look bad." Right there and then, in that moment, I've just judged my colleague Jill. I've labelled her as unorganised. And I'm embarrassed about how it makes our team look. And I decide that I'll have a word with Jill later and tell her to sort it out. And in my mind, I haven't stopped to think about why Jill might have been late. I've just decided that for myself. She's unorganised. My thoughts offer Jill no mercy. But what I've also failed to do in that moment is remember that just a week before, I was late for work. Not once, but twice. Firstly, because I slept in, and then secondly, because I forgot my work laptop and had to go back home for it. Did I label myself as unorganised? Was I embarrassed about my own behaviour? Did I give myself a telling off? No, I didn't. I just got on with my day. Now, that is just a made up scenario, but it's the kind of thing that we are all capable of doing, judging others. Judging someone for doing something that we ourselves have done is called hypocrisy. There is something about the way we operate as humans that it is so much easier for us to judge others than it is to judge ourselves. Jesus is calling us out on that. Jesus is telling us to have a good look at ourselves before we go judging others. Because there may be something going on in our lives that we're blind to. In real life, we don't get the opportunity for a do-over and to act differently. So we need to be aware that there may be a plank in our own eye and pause to think before we act. Elsewhere in the Bible, Jesus says, love your neighbour as yourself. What might situations where we are tempted to quickly judge look like if we decided to love that person as we love ourselves? What would our interactions with others be like if we chose to treat them in the way that we hope to be treated, with love and kindness and mercy? As we go about our week, let's challenge ourselves together to think about how we can be quick to judge other people. And here is a suggestion of something practical that you could try to help you get a handle on this. The next time that you notice yourself judging someone, pull your phone out and turn your camera onto selfie mode and use it like a mirror. And take a look at yourself and ask yourself, is it my place to judge this person? And ask yourself if there are things in your own life that people might judge you for. Ask yourself, how might someone treat me if I were in the same circumstances? And ask yourself, how can I love this person? Look at the expression on your face when you are judging someone else. And then look at this expression on your face when you think about receiving kindness and mercy from others. You'll find that those expressions are really quite different. And all of the things that Jesus teaches us, he tells us to put God first in our lives and then others second. If we focus on doing those two things, we won't be so concerned with judging other people.